Tow it, lady. You've resigned. And take your bloody NFTs with you.
It seems today that all you see is bouncing locomotives and stuff on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's the tales of the rails. You're lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and wail. It's the tales of the Northwestern Rails. 10 years ago, Ulfstead Castle was restored to its former glory and was the newest addition to the Ulfstead branch line, including opening a new railway, the S-State Railway. That would feature Stephen, the Rocket, Millie, the Earl's private narrow gauge engine, and Glynn, the coffee pot engine, who once used to work on the Tidmouth, Knapford, and Elsbridge Railway, along with the Northwestern Railway until 1939.
The 10th anniversary of Ulfstead Castle. This is an honor to be a part of it.
We're all glad to have you be a part of the celebration. Say, you've learned how me and Millie got here. Why not tell us how you ended up here?
Well, it's quite a long story.
Don't worry, Glynn. We still have 30 minutes before the big party.
Very well then.
Now, as mentioned before, Glynn is a coffee pot that used to work at the Tidmouth, Knapford, and Elsbridge Railway, along with his brothers, Gaston, Gabriel, and Gavin. He was there when their railway merged with the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway, making the Tidmouth, Wellsworth, and Sudbury Railway. He was there when all three railways were merged into one big railway in 1915, and worked well taking light trains and shunting until 1939, when World War II began. Of all the engines that enlisted to assist in the war, both he and Edward withdrew to enter the fight. While Edward was eventually let out on the 12th of May, 1945, Glynn was not so lucky. With him out of commission and his other brothers were sold off, someone needed to run the Farquhar branch line. But come the following year, 1946, that's where we introduced Thomas to Glynn.
Well, Thomas, look after the branch line and wear the number with pride.
Glynn watched as Thomas made the branch line run smoothly. Glynn's first moving spot remained in the same location, but instead of a siding, it was a Farquhar shed. Come the following decade, Glynn was happy to meet some new friends. But as the next decade came, despite all the activity, Glynn was starting to reminisce the days where he was running on the Farquhar branch line. But one day in the 70s, all of that will change.
I do hope that these Vermicars didn't forget the milk this time. Oh, who do we have here?
Those is me. I'm just a humble coffee pot who longs to travel in the branch line again rather than be invulnerable in this shed.
Well, why don't you?
Do you not see the rusting coming, Iron?
Oh, good point. I'll send an engine to escort you to another location.
So the station master oiled up his wheels and called in Toby to take him to another location of the branch line. They took him to the South Knapford Harbor. The waves were crashing, the gulls were calling, and the trains and lorries and boats were coming in, transferring their loads. Glynn was happy with the sight. That was until the next decade rolled by and the salty sea air was starting to become irritable. But one day, he would yet again be transferred to another location.
Okay, the next download is going to be a big one, so we need all the room we can for our trucks. That includes moving this red engine elsewhere. You then, Castle 4, be a dear and transfer this locomotive to another location.
Once again, Toby took Glynn to another area of the branch line, that being the lead mines, which closed in 1930, and during that time, engines were bringing in empty wagons and taking away loaded ones filled with ruins and rubbish of the mines. It was a rather dull sight for Glynn, but then one day, in 1993...
What's that material then? Uranium? Spread the word, Bruce. These mines are back in business.
And just like that, the mines have been reopened for business, excavating uranium. But that was the only excitement Glynn had ever gotten from the mines. And once again, it was time for him to head to a new location. That being his last one for the century, the Maithwaite Forest. Glynn found it peaceful, although he found the area too green. He was expecting another transfer, but Toby never came back, especially after he got his branch line in 1996. Eventually, everyone had moved on and forgotten about Glynn. No one out there could save him.
No! I can still save you! What happened?
I'm alright now, America Blake-Ven. I'm already saved.
Are you alright back there?
Humphrey and I were dropping off dinosaurs, then we brought a baby Mataburosaurus back to its herd before the KT extinction. An asteroid collision.
Wow, that was some dream during your power nap.
Yeah. Well, now that you've had a nice little nap, after hearing the rest of Glynn's story, you ready to head home back in Elsbridge?
I sure am.
Right then. Glynn, would you like to carry on with your story? And so he did. Glynn thought it was all over, until one winter day in 2016...
Huh? Do I hear singing? Hey, be careful! You hit me!
And the rest is history. That is, if you've seen the Christmas coffee pot. Marion claimed of seeing a magic Christmas tree, only for Thomas to investigate and rediscover Glynn stuck at Maithwaite Forest. He told the Earl about Glynn, and the Earl delightfully agreed to have him work on the estate railway after his restoration at the steamworks. Sir Stephen Topham Hatt, the controller at the time, was most delighted.
I must say, Glynn, you are splendid as the day my grandfather built you.
Thank you, sir. I feel it.
Ah, yes! I remember your debut quite well. I still regret my jealousy towards you and challenging you to that race.
Well, aside from your variety, it is still a fun race regardless. The most important thing is that I'm back and working condition again.
Glynn the coffee pot engine couldn't be more happier than co-working with his friends on the estate railway.